burn down. Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us. We're going to give a couple minutes, just make sure everything is in order. Let's see. Okay. Burn down. All right, good. Our YouTube is live. We're on YouTube officially. Thanks for joining us. My name is Jenny Chen. I'm the founder and CEO of 3D Heals. I've talked about this more than 20 dozen times. 3D Heals was funded because my own interest of healthcare applications using 3D printing, and I founded the company more than 6 years ago. So we're all getting old here. But the main reason, main mission for 3D Heals is first to educate the public about what is happening in the field, and two is to connect individuals, whoever you are, either you're early adopter, innovators, or entrepreneurs. This is a great place to network. And we're going to provide the link for breakout rooms after this webinar so that you can actually have some more smaller group discussion. And finally, but not least, is we're helping startups to be more visible in the space, as well as helping them with fundraising. And so we have a program called Pitch 3D, and it's basically for early stage startups to fundraise from institutional investors. So for those who are qualified and interested, please, one, fill in the application online for Pitch 3D, and two is get in touch with me. I'm always happy to be your sounding board for your next startup. And also another important thing I need to mention is that we are supported by HP Ventures and HP. Both are very interested in the space, either for startup purposes, venture purposes, and also product purposes. So I want to give a shout out for HP for supporting us. Without sponsors, we will not be able to provide this kind of free educational platform for everybody. So without further ado, we have incredible panel of speakers today focusing on 3D printing for medical simulation. I mean, simulation field for medicine is not a new field, and it's actually very deep and wide throughout the industry. However, 3D printing is a new technology in the space, and I have grown over the last decade to where we are today. And I'm really excited to see what is new, who are the influencers, and what they think of where the field is going. So the first speaker is directly from Barcelona, Spain, is Dr. Abdul Mustafa. Abdul, I'll let you introduce yourself a little bit more because you have so much in your background, and then why don't you take it away from here?
Perfect. First of all, thank you, Jenny and 3D Heals for the invitation, and also thank you for pushing forward 3D all over. And actually, it's a great pleasure to be with this great panel with Stephen, Robert, and Ziad. My name is Abdel. I'm a cardiologist, and I did my subspecialty in cardiovascular imaging. I dedicate most of my time on for the plan, and it's like for structural heart disease and pulmonary heart disease. Actually, I prepared a small PowerPoint to share with you, at least to can show you around at least our what we do and I will share at least my point of view for medical simulation from a clinician, at least as a doctor. No. Okay, let me share. As you said, actually, this is Hospital de São Paulo, where I did my residency and my cardiovascular imaging, and also where my kids were born. So you're invited to come whenever you want. This is our team. I'm very lucky to be part of this great team. Almost like now 2.5 years ago, we created like a cardiovascular 3D lab. You can call it like that. And our main objective, also thanks to our collaboration with universities like UPF or like HP and Materialize and other that makes all those things happen. We do a lot of 3D modeling and pre-procedure planning, mainly virtual, and also we do 3D printing for planning or for anatomical models, and also for medical simulation. And also when we have like a very complex cases, we always like to take advantage from all like cardiovascular modalities. We combine, for example, here a cardiac CT with a very complex congenital heart disease, and we combine CT for anatomical information from, and also like 4D-Flow, for example, for like an MRI to make this complex 3D model for planning and for education, and also for research purposes. And also we squeeze a lot our meshes. So we also, all the segmentation we do, we try to make our AI model, and we can do computational modeling, and why not 3D printing. Like Jenny said, medical simulation is nothing new. No, it's been there for a long time. This is, of course, you all know Anne, the RSC Anne, since this is the first CPR model that been created in the 70s by Asman. And also medical simulation is not only for medical professionals, is used by the public and also for like firefighter also, no? Since then, a lot of things had happened. As an MD, we all have a life cycle. At least, okay, I mean, also as a professional, like life cycle, we go from med school specialization, and we do like subspecialization and fellowship, and also as consultant, we always do training. We have a lot of skill to learn. It's like a lifelong. We have to do a lot of certification, recertification, and learn a new skill and learn skills, and this is a continuous. So simulation is actually our daily, our daily life. Simulators, there's a lot. There's a whole. It can be from the most simple suturing pad to the most advanced simulation room. No, this is our simulation room with our best anesthesiology team, where we do our life support certification and learning. This mannequin is like bionic. It can talk, it can breathe, has a pulse, it's connected. You can do all sorts of things to it. It's connected to an ECMO, to the assisting device. And of course, 3D printing can play a role from the most simple to the most complex. And for me, 3D printing in medical simulation, the most important part, because we can create with 3D printing a patient-specific and pathology or disease-specific models based on clinical and 3D data. This is, for me, is the most important part. This is before, is almost impossible to do it without now the 3D modeling or the 3D printing. Because disease is a process and patient, and this is the most, maybe the next step actually is to clone our patients or maybe bioprint it. For me, this is the most important part. Of course, the crucial steps to create the most educational and cost-effective models, always make sure you know why you're making those models, what the objective is to teach anatomy or to do planning or to teach surgical or technical skills. So imaging quality is crucial. Without imaging, the 3D models it can save a lot of time, and always try to combine different modalities if it's possible. Plan your segmentation and your card work accordingly. You should know, of course, your 3D printing tech very deeply, and also it's not about 3D printing. Combine it with AR, VR, or any other 3D technology. This will increase exponentially the benefits of the training. I love this infographic. This is also in, I think, 2016. It has almost all the text for 3D printing. Remember, it's not about which one to use. Because if you have access, whatever you have access to, try to take advantage of all the technology available. Of course, everybody know about silicon molding. This silicon molding is also a big part of making a simulation. Things to take into account to make a cardiovascular training model, for example, also we could apply to other modalities. It depends. Take account like the side, it has to be hollow. If you have to do cuts, you have to do it once, or you have to do it like repetitively. If it has to be multicolor with transparency. For us as cardiologists or like cardiovascular specialists, it's important visibility under fluoro or under echo, and the accuracy of course, the resolution of the model. And the model also can be dynamic or can be static. Those are two different models. This is a very simple static model to train how to implant a left appendage occlusion device. I think Ziad, he will explain to us more about that. And this is another model by my colleague Agustin. And you see here that the wart is almost alive. Sometimes you need like a more functional simulator, no? And this you can fill it up with even with fake blood or even blood, if you want. And to explain, I will go through one of two prototypes or models that we made within the last 2 years. As I said before, my main expertise actually is to plan and see patients with valvular heart disease almost every day. Tricuspid regurgitation is one of the diseases that is being forgotten for some time now, and now lately it's gained a lot of attention because we have more, like you can say, more therapeutic options we have. No, we can fix the tricuspid valve by two ways. Or you can open the chest and change the valve, or you can have like a percutaneous. It means, or we can go through like the vein, or you can go through the left atrium, so you can change it. No? We at our hospital we were enrolled in a clinical trial. It's called GATE trial. Is where we have to learn on how to use the Navigate system. Navigate system is to implant the same valve in the tricuspid position, going through the cava or through the atrium. Here they make it look very simple, but of course it's not so simple. No? Of course, like any medical device manufacturing, you have the device development goes through this FDA, for example, process. No, since the research and development or in vitro testing until you have it in market, the medical device has to go through all those steps. No, the Navigate system was still in a clinical trial, so it didn't have yet the FDA approval. No? So Navigate want to train us how to use it. No? So what we did, we said, okay, the best way to learn is actually have the patient where we're going to implant it in. So we created a 3D model based on a CT, and usually the training before used to practice on a big model. Actually, this is normal size. It's a scale. No? There's a real scale comparing the Navigate model, or like the patient who had the Navigate model, also with the big eye. As you see, it's completely different. You can do all you want. You can say you can do all the training on pigs and on animals. It will never be as disease or patient specific. No? So we created like this multi-color was using MGF PA12. Also, you can combine it with TPO or with silicone. No? This part is exchangeable. And also for the surgeon, it's very important the position of the pacemaker cable, the right coronary arteries, to take away all those details. No? And for us, it's very important because this is how we see it under fluoroscopy, because all this is done under fluoroscopy, and also the surgeon are implicated because have to do with like a transarterial approach. And also the patient data, we can combine it, or it's called with the hard navigator, so we can have more information during it's like operating the same patient just before the surgery. No? And this is another example that we also, because in our hospital, we still don't have, when we fix the mitral valve, we don't have the only option we have still now is okay, like open heart surgery now. So there's one of the options we have is actually have like it's called minimally invasive mitral surgery. Is with a small cut on the right side of the patient, we can fix the mitral valve. But this procedure is highly specialized procedure, need a lot of training. So based on data from echo and 3D echo and cardiac CT, we created a training model based on that. No, here